Hello and welcome to Best Picture Brain Rot, a podcast where three friends count down to the 100th Oscars by watching every Best Picture winner in order.
Follow along as we give ourselves cinematic brain damage from the first winner, Wings, to whatever the Academy picks in 2028.
There are 79 weeks until the 100th Oscars, and today we are going to talk about All the King's Men. Surprises, disappointments, hot takes, and plenty of brain rot.
We are your hosts, Adam,
Sarah,
and Drew.
We bring to you today the 22nd Best Picture winner, and a movie that for most of my life I thought was the British monarchy version of 1976's classic Robert Redford thirst trap, All the President's Men. I really did think they were related. They are,
kind of.
Thematically. Robert Rosson's 1949 movie is actually very American, based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Robert Penn Warren about a corrupt Louisiana politician named Willie Stark, tracking his meteoric rise and his equally as devastating fall. It's the first time we're really tackling American politics besides the weird side quest that was Cimarron. So before we start, there's a lot of historical context here because this is a not so thinly veiled story about a real politician. So Drew is salivating. But before we begin, what is everyone's relationship with your local politician?
What?
I'm on the email list for mine. I got Luz Rivas. She emails me. I got an email from her the other day about like Fox News is gonna hate this, and it was like about her visiting a detention center or something.
So the Valley is liberal.
Yeah.
We're going to get political today, so we may as well just...
The Valley's all working class Latino people. Armenians too, because I think my state rep is Adrian Nazarian or something like that.
Okay.
He's kind of chill, from what I remember.
Sarah.
Girl, I don't know who my local politician is. Okay, I guess the next level up would be Gavin Newsom, my local politician.
Or maybe the mayor.
You've been to the Capitol.
That's true. That's true.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Did you ever see Big Gav?
No, I saw Big Schwarzenegger though. Well, I didn't see him, but I felt his presence. He was like in one of the rooms. We were on a field trip, and we were like, he's in there. Oh my gosh.
His aura.
His aura.
You know who has aura?
Who?
Willie Stark.
Does he though?
I think objectively, yes, in the context of the movie.
If you think Willie Stark has aura,
take it away, Drew.
Huey Long. That's what we're going to talk about today. Apologies in advance to our listeners. This might be one of those episodes where Drew is just kind of buzzing. Yes, I'm buzzing because today we get to talk about a really fascinating, bizarre, and oft-forgotten character in American history. Not Willie Stark from both the book and movie All the King's Men, but rather his even stranger historical basis, Governor Huey P. Long of Louisiana. The engaging element of All the King's Men, for better or for worse, is that its character, Willie Stark, can be seen as an archetype for many American politicians. But the original book's author, Robert Penn Warren, so clearly and unashamedly was writing about the rise and collapse of the lightning rod politician of his day. Huey P. Long was the governor and effectively dictator of Louisiana from 1928 until his death in 1935. Nicknamed the Kingfish, he was a left-wing populist who seized control of nearly every lever of Louisiana's government, with an agenda intent on redistributing wealth and uplifting the poor. His methods were radical, so radical that he even considered FDR's New Deal to be, quote, insufficient. We'll maybe talk more about some biographical details as we get along with the movie. I did also watch the Ken Burns documentary on Huey Long, so I'm a bit of an overnight expert and need to share everything I can. Sorry, Adam. But for now...
Okay. I watched the really bad remake of this movie from 2006, so I'm a bit of an overnight expert as well.
Well, you know, there's also an opera called Willie Stark that I found.
What the fuck?
There's literally
what the fuck?
They've all got Cajun accents.
There's like an American 3-act opera called
Lord.
Willie Stark that I actually really would be curious to see. I want to drive home some of the politics here so we understand why a movie like All the King's Men was seen as such a juicy role at the time. Back to Huey Long, he was supposedly, though not exactly, raised in poverty, as was much of Louisiana at the time. In 1928, when Huey Long became governor, 60% of the state was poor. And that's before the Great Depression. Like many southern states, Louisiana was controlled by a rich ruling class, mostly oilmen and aristocrats. Now, Huey Long saw that and he thought, if they're not going to do anything to help the poor, I will. After working as a lawyer, he chased the governorship, and by 1928 he won with a very straightforward campaign promise. The slogan, "Every man a king, but no one wears a crown." This was a platform adopted from similar populist Democrats of his day, notably William Jennings Bryan, but Huey Long saw it through. His, quote, "share the wealth" agenda was intent on redistributing funds from the wealthy ruling class and instead investing that in public works.
Ugh. I'm just kidding.
This is one of those things that like sounds kind of well and good. Of course, then you get into what actually happened with Huey Long and his government. It's all well and good until you realize, oh, he means white people.
No. Actually, that's actually a very important thing to note here, is that he was very clearly, unlike most Southern politicians, he was not a race baiter. He was strictly campaigning on a class-by-class basis.
Interesting.
And so he actually had a lot of support from black voters, even to this day. He was actually like a rare case of like a Dixiecrat who was not pulling like the race card to like scare people.
What's a Dixiecrat?
It's like a Southern Democrat.
Oh, that's kind of cute, Dixiecrat.
But anyways, his, quote, "share the wealth" agenda was intent on redistributing funds from the wealthy ruling class and instead investing that in public works. He paved 14,700 miles of road. He built 111 bridges. He built hospitals and schools. Not only did this bring employment for people working on these projects, these sorts of investments also, shocker, made the lives of Louisianans better. In a state beset with bayous, marshes, and flooding rivers, just the act of paving roads and building bridges was life-changing. It de-isolated entire communities and gave the state's poorer class greater economic mobility. Long also passed legislation that ensured free textbooks for all school children and night classes for the illiterate. Weirdly, these were controversial at the time. The point being that for the poor of Louisiana, Huey Long quickly became a folk hero, a man who heard their needs and delivered and saw them through. Now, there's a big fat caveat here. Huey Long did do a lot for the poor of Louisiana, but he also did a lot for himself. Huey Long was a true believer of ends justifying the means. In order to see out his share the wealth agenda, he bribed, bullied, and strong-armed his way into absolute power. He filled his cabinet with loyalists and also insisted that any employee underneath him contribute parts of their salary to his, quote, war chest for personal projects. He was truly a dictator. But in order to do good things, I'll probably talk more about Huey Long versus the movie character Willie Stark as we go on with this episode, but God, I actually only have so much time. Huey Long is one of the most confounding and prescient American politicians in history. It's absolutely worth learning more about him. We will, again, learn more as we go on. I probably won't shut up, so apologies in advance. But this is who Willie Stark is. This is who Huey Long is. A radical, populist dictator with a clear agenda to uplift the forgotten working class, albeit through controversial, unrefined, and unprecedented means. Surely that sounds like no one else.
Womp womp. We're not saying it. But
Okay.
We might say it. It might come up. But who played Willie Stark? And who made this movie? These are all questions that I have. And I think I know someone who can answer them.
Adam. That's really good.
And perhaps a little something about how it was produced to start it off.
Perhaps. So I am going to start off with production. So much of the movie was shot in actual small towns around Stockton, California. Shout out NorCal. Shout out NorCal. Okay.
You got me. I was like, oh.
No, it really was filmed in Stockton.
No, I believe it.
Okay, great.
That's cool.
Using local residents as extras, the production became a little chaotic during editing. Rawson had shot so much material that the original editor, Al Clark, struggled to assemble it. And after weeks of work, the movie was still over 4 hours long. Columbia boss Harry Kahn wanted to just release it. So whatever. He's like, fuck it. Yeah, so Columbia boss Harry Kahn wanted to release it. So a panicked Rawson told the new editor, other one got fired, I guess, the new editor, Robert Parrish, to find the center of every scene, measure roughly 100 feet of film before and after it, and then cut everything else regardless of whether it interrupted dialogue, music, or action. I don't even know how that works.
That actually maybe explains some editing.
There were some weird editing things in this.
Yeah.
It makes sense
It
now.
would like cut in the middle of someone's line.
Yes.
Fascinating. That's crazy because like this movie is like not super long. So they cut so much.
Although weirdly, I will say, basically any time a woman started speaking, it started to cut away.
Yeah.
That is true. Hey, it's not all called all the king's women.
Casting Willie Stark was another ordeal. Harry Conn wanted Spencer Tracy, but Rawson thought audiences would like Tracy too much. Rawson then offered the role to John Wayne, who absolutely hated the screenplay and sent his agent an angry letter accusing the movie of, quote, attacking the American way of life.
Funny.
Before essentially telling him that Robert Rawson could shove the script up his ass.
And I think he also like told his agent to like not show it to any of his other clients.
Yeah. Broderick Crawford, the man who plays Willie Stark, ultimately got the role despite being considered a very risky choice because he was primarily a character actor and not a major box office star. He wanted it so badly that he reportedly took half of his usual salary. Crawford studied footage and recordings of Huey Long to prepare, even though apparently there was an unspoken rule on the set that nobody was allowed to mention Huey Long by name.
Just sounds like something familiar. Call me Robert Rawson. By the way, I be silent.
About to find out.
Silence is violence.
I'm gonna find out Barry Weiss produced this movie.
I don't know who that is. Okay. Before filming began, the cast was allowed to read and study the full screenplay, but once production officially started, Rawson took all of their scripts away and wouldn't let them keep copies. Instead, he would just give them pages for a specific scene shortly before they were going to film it. The actors then had to memorize the dialogue right then and there on set and then perform it almost immediately. It was basically, the idea was to prevent them from rehearsing scenes to death and keep the performances feeling spontaneous. Director Robert Rawson. He started out in New York, in the New York theater scene of the 1930s before becoming a screenwriter at Warner Brothers, where he developed a reputation for stories about working class people, corruption, ambition, and fighting against powerful systems or being destroyed by them. He eventually moved into directing. Rawson was also a member of the Communist Party. Beginning in the late 1930s, although he eventually became disillusioned with it and severed his ties. This became a massive problem during the Hollywood Red Scare when he was called before the House Un-American Activities Committee. He invoked the Fifth Amendment and refused to name names, which got him blacklisted, cost him his Columbia contract, and even prevented him from renewing his passport. After almost 2 years of that work, he went back before HUAC in 1953. And this time, he named 57 people as current or former communists,
Nice.
ending his blacklist but destroying a number of friendships in the process. His son later said Rawson was deeply torn over the decision, but had become desperate to work again.
Damn.
Okay, we're going to get into the cast. Broderick Crawford as Willie Stark. At the time of All the King's Men, Broderick Crawford was primarily a character actor. He was not a Hollywood leading man or major box office star, as I said earlier. He had spent more than a decade playing supporting roles, mostly tough guys, with his biggest prior success coming on Broadway as Lenny in Of Mice and Men. Fun fact, he hosted Saturday Night Live in 1977, Season 2, Episode 16, musical guests Levin Helm, Dr. John, The Meters, and Paul Butterfield. He is buried at Ferndale Cemetery in Johnstown, New York. There's really not much else to say about him. There's not a lot to say about a lot of these actors. They kind of just like popped off in this movie. And
This is one of those movies where it feels like a flash
It
in
is.
the pan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we have John Ireland as Jack Burden. So at the time of this movie, John Ireland was a rising supporting actor known mainly for westerns and crime movies with roles in A Walk in the Sun, My Darling Clementine, and Red River. He wasn't a major star, and All the King's Men became his biggest critical breakthrough, earning him his only Academy Award nomination. Some fun, juicy tea. He met Joanne Drew, the woman who plays Anne Stanton in this movie, while working with her on Red River. They married in 1949, around the time All the King's Men was released. Their marriage later fell apart amid Ireland's affair with Joan Crawford while they were making a movie.
Joan.
She gets around.
Messy.
She gets around. I swear every time I do one of these, it's like they have an affair with Joan Crawford. It's crazy. I'm like, I get it. It's Joan Crawford, but also like, girl, calm down. Okay, then I'm talking about Joanne Dru as Anne Stanton. Joanne Dru was a relatively new actress at the time this movie came out, whose career had just taken off. Her breakthrough was Howard Hawks' Red River, as I just stated, followed almost immediately by John Ford's She Wore a Yellow Ribbon in 1949 opposite John Wayne. Those movies quickly established her as a major Western actress, even though she reportedly hated horses. All the King's Men came right in the middle of that early run and was one of her first major non-Western roles, but after this movie she went back to Westerns and then her career started to slowly fade. Saving the best for last, Mercedes McCambridge, who plays Sadie in the film. Mercedes McCambridge was already a major radio actress before All the King's Men, but this was her very first movie.
Oh,
wow.
And she won Best Supporting Actress. She apparently got the role after becoming angry during the audition process, telling the producers off and storming out, and they called her back because that exact attitude was what they wanted for Sadie.
That's funny. She negged them.
Yeah.
nice.
Wow. It does work. To our impressionable young viewers, it does work. It doesn't mean you should do it all the time.
After this movie, she continued on as a major character actress rather than a traditional leading lady. A quote from her that I liked. One of the most destructive things in my life was the kind of parts I played in pictures. I studied Shakespeare and the classics, and I end up shooting Joan Crawford and killing a horse that Elizabeth Taylor was in love with. I'm serious. I played the worst harridans, the most hard-bitten women, absolute heavies, and it just about did me in. Just a little slice of personality. And that's a wrap on Cast and Crew.
Thank you, Sarah. Mm-hmm. Let's dive in. Dive into rural Louisiana circa 20s.
I don't think it's explicitly said what state they're in.
Which that pissed me off, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, really?
They pulled a Veep thing where they're not going to say the party or the state or anything like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wish they had given a place. Like,
I agree.
The only location they mentioned was St. Louis. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, a real place. But there was like mountains with snow. There were palm trees. There were rolling farm headlands. I'm like, where the fuck are we right now?
He's the governor of Stockton.
They were in Stockton. But this is a movie that starts off with, it uses a framing device that's almost now traditional. It's about the plucky reporter who goes to detail someone's life and ends up falling in with them. That's, again, the sort of framing for this story. Yeah, kind of one of the earlier versions I've seen. Sunset Boulevard uses a very similar framing device in a very good way. This is fine. We focus on a reporter named Jack Burton. Sure. He's a young guy. He's got to go cover a politician named Willie Stark, guy who's running for a sort of backwoods county seat. So he arrives in this podunk town. This man, Willie Stark, he's given a speech riling up the whole populace. There's a lot of, again, you talked about the man of the people. It's got this big populist sway, huge crowd. It gets broken up by cops who say, you're not allowed to speak here. You don't have a permit to do so. It's the mechanisms of the town are afraid of him. So they're going to silence him. They're going to shut him down. Blah, blah, blah. He's arrested for disturbing the peace. It's not legitimate. The reporter's very interested in this whole thing. Jack is. So he goes to the pool hall where the heads of the town gather. The head of the town, Tiny Duffy, is played by James Gandolfini in the 2006 version.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually so... Wait, he's in The Sopranos,
He's
right?
Tony Soprano,
Because I was going to
yes.
say... Well, we'll talk about it We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, because Sean Penn is Willie Stark in the 2006 version. He's so bad.
Ew.
He doesn't
He's got the
fit it
broccoli
at all.
haircut.
He does
That's
have
He's got the broccoli cut.
But yes, imagine, if you will, Tony Soprano in this role. He's like the head of the town. His name's Tiny Duffy. Stark goes to defuse the situation and kind of like, put his hat on the table. Like, I give up, you guys win. I'm not going to fight you anymore. Burton is very taken with Stark, so he goes home with Stark. He meets his family, meets his wife, who is a teacher.
I didn't like her.
Yeah. She's not in it very much. It's meant to ground the character of Willie Stark early, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, he's married to a teacher. This, wonderful job. He's a good man. At the beginning, he's very much portrayed as a good man.
Yeah.
And him being married to a teacher is part of that. Very much like me being married to a nurse, I like to think.
No, for sure.
That's what humanizes me.
That's true.
But yes. Again, Stark, he's running very much as he's the voice of the little man. He studies law at night. He becomes a lawyer kind of on his own terms.
Yeah.
He has an adoptive son.
Yeah, which I think that is added into the book. I don't think that's true to the real Huey Long.
Yeah. It really, that does feel like something inserted for drama.
Yeah.
And again, maybe a little bit of humanization to be like, oh, he like adopted this like indigent neighbor child or something.
He had a couple kids, but they were younger. He didn't have an adult. From what I could gather, he didn't have an adult adopted son. This.
Again, this is about Willie Stark.
Yeah. It was interesting that they added that because it does play a role.
Yeah, and it matters somewhat in the movie and the story. Jack Burton, he goes back. He is very impressed by what's going on, so he writes an article about Willie Stark, an honest man. And kind of leaves it at that. That's like his story. He got his paycheck. He's like, what a fun little interlude in my life. I'm going to go back and be rich now. Yeah. Which he does. He goes back to Burden's Landing. Yeah. And if you have a town or area named after yourself, you're obviously quite rich. So this is where he lives and hobnobs with the Stanton family, whose dead patriarch is a beloved former governor of this.
Oh, thank you for explaining that.
Yeah.
I genuinely had no idea
that's
what the connection was.
It's a lot why Stark ingratiates himself so much with that group, is because it gives him political legitimacy to be associated with them. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, it's also his downfall, etc., etc. We'll get to that. But yes, it's like him with his girlfriend, Anne Stanton, who, again, daughter of a former governor. She's with her brother Adam, lives there too. They're also friends with a former judge or a current judge who just goes by judge. Yeah. Played by Anthony Hopkins in the 2006 version with really not even an attempt at a Southern accent.
This cast sounds crazy.
The 2006 one it's wild. I'll talk about like the holistic of it at the end, but it's like... Ooh.
I feel like they thought it was going to be like some big thing.
100%.
It sounds like...
100%. But yeah, he returns home. We get a montage of him dating his girlfriend. They're doing super bougie rich people activities. It's sort of like a life goes on kind of thing. You know, in that a little bit, Jack is kind of dissatisfied with his life. He's not that interested. He's just like, oh, you rich people. He's like Mrs. Miniver's son in like a minor way.
Yes.
I'm learning about social justice.
Yes, exactly. He tries talking politics at the dinner table, makes it real awkward. But yet his family is super skeptical about his article, specifically because they say it's going to, quote, like rile people up.
Yeah.
You know, get those pores frothing, and then they're going to overthrow us.
Literally.
It was probably a thing people were really concerned about back then.
Absolutely. You
know, they're skeptical of his journalism career, too. They say, you should be a lawyer. Why don't you be a lawyer? This is a fun little thing you did, but get a real job. Yeah, and him and his stepdad, they fight at the dinner table.
Wait, doesn't he throw a drink at his stepdad?
Yeah, he does.
I was gonna say that was so like the Real House. It was so like the Real Housewives. I was like, that reminded me so much. And for the listeners who have watched The Real Housewives of Orange County, Tamra Judge, when she throws a drink in Gina's face at Vicky's backyard party, it was so much like that moment. Yeah,
I agree.
That was,
and then Anne's like, "Aren't you gonna apologize?" And he's like, "Apologize? I would rather die," which is like so also something from like a Real Housewives reunion.
I love that. You know, it's funny the things that things remind us of.
No, so
but
much.
It really sets the scene, and I 100% agree with you. I've not seen that scene, but I'm sure you can show me after this. But I believe that
that was not like a real offer, Adam.
No, there's another moment. There's another moment in this movie that reminds me of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, but we'll get to that.
Okay, good to know.
But yeah, lots of the interpersonal conflict in this film has a striking resemblance to that franchise.
Gotcha. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so he takes Anne and says he almost goes Yancey on him.
He totally does.
You know, he says, we're gonna go live amongst the poor. Like, I'm gonna give up comfortable life to go do this thing which I believe in. Again, very Yancey. He does get news, Jack does, that Stark lost his race for treasurer or whatever he was running for.
Yeah.
And he says, he like looks at the camera and raises his eyebrows and says, well, that's the end of Willie Stark. Yeah. It's called foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
During this time, Stark, he again gets his law degree. He becomes an attorney mostly for the benefit of helping poor people. We get a little interlude, which is a very apocryphal moment in any good telling of All the King's Men. There's a bunch of school children.
Oh my god.
There's a bunch of school children running along stairs and scaffolding.
Scene from season 4 of The Wire, basically.
Yeah. But like the scaffolding falls, and we know that a lot of children die in this accident.
Can I say something? Because I was watching this on Tubi with ads.
Yes.
And there was an ad. I can't even make this up. After the kids, you hear like the screaming when they're dying. I get this ad of Carl's Jr. says, "Are you tired of mogging and maxing?" Us at Carl's Jr., we're chicken maxing. And it was just like this 30-second ad spot of like chicken maxing and like a spicy chicken sandwich. And
was that the palate cleanser you needed after hearing the voices of children dying?
Yeah, it was all very jarring. And then it was like back to the funeral, and I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, no, actually, because we watched it on like a Russian rip, and they had that in there too. So I think
The Carl's Jr.
Yeah,
ad?
the Carl's Jr. ad.
Are you
part
serious?
Of the movie.
Adam?
It's like
Adam's being silly. Adam's being silly.
It's like that Chilean version of Star Wars where they insert the ad, like the beer ads when it goes to look for the lightsaber.
That is too. Those are so funny. But yes, no, they were not actually talking about chicken maxing in the 1949 rendition of All the King's Men, to be clear.
Thank you for clearing that up.
I'm a hick, you're a hick, like any good hick, I ought to be chicken maxing.
But yes, this accident occurs. A bunch of children die. Can we please treat this with the seriousness that it
Accident?
deserves?
This was on purpose.
True. Well, it was an accident only insofar as the architecture firm or whoever they had designed the school did a terrible job because they were like a corrupt.
No, I know. I was just giving you a hard time.
No, I know. Okay. Well, I do think it's clear to say, because that is actually why Willie Stark gains a lot of notoriety as part of this specific story beat, because he uses this to parlay into being as someone who stood against this school being built by this certain like firm or whatever. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, that Willie Stark, he was on to something.
Yeah.
He cooked.
In real life, what happens with Huey Long is he works for the Louisiana. He gets elected to a small 3-person committee called the Louisiana Railroad Commission, which then becomes like the Public Safety Commission. Mm. And through that, he had basically prosecuted, even in front of the Supreme Court, against like the big companies that were running the railroads, the oil companies, things like that. And he also did a lot of just like, before that, even just pro bono work, which we see in the movie, like for poor people. And that's how he sort of gained the notoriety for his later gubernatorial campaign.
Right.
So it's interesting, though, that they went with this school trip. I'm wondering what, that probably is based on something real.
But yeah, speaking of gubernatorial.
What the fuck? Wait, what does that mean?
Governor-ish.
Governor-related.
Gubernatorial?
Gubernatorial. Even weirder.
That's so silly.
But yes, Stark gets recruited to run for governor by, I think it's Tiny Duffy, and the political machine.
Yeah.
And they're doing so, we kind of see as a viewer, because they don't have any respect for him. They're just doing it because their guy is losing to another guy, and they think Willie Stark will peel votes off of that other guy.
Yeah.
By kind of like going into his swim lane.
Crazy metaphor.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's a word. That's a turn of phrase.
I like it.
Part of Willie Stark's campaign is talking about boring political stuff that people don't care about.
Yeah.
I think it's because,
he's a wonk.
He's trying to be a wonk.
Yeah. What is that?
Good.
Someone who's like really obsessed, and specifically with politics, it's someone who's like really obsessed with the nuts and bolts of something.
Is wonk derived
from
something?
What is up with these new words? I'm like, This is crazy. I'm like actually learning so much this episode. Thank you.
According to
Thank
Adam, I'm the
you.
most politically involved here.
Well, I know what a wonk is.
Gubernatorial wonk.
Yes. Yeah.
I love learning.
New rapper name?
Yes. Gubernatorial wonk actually is kind of... Why is it kind of...
Was it kind of...
I looked it up, and speaking of rappers, I looked it up because I was very curious if there were any rappers who had like done bars off of Huey Long.
Huey Long, yeah.
Said something like, you know, like, my money long like Huey. Like,
yeah, totally.
I was specifically
Has anyone done that?
I was specifically wondering if Lil Wayne had done that.
Right.
It sounds like something Lil Wayne would totally
Yeah.
do.
Well, this is, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Did he?
What was that? No.
Oh. We need to get Lil Wayne a copy of 1949's All the President's Men. Can anyone help us with that?
Yeah.
My money long like Huey. I drop bombs on your ass, kablooey.
Sounds like Cat
Straight
Williams.
to the point, decimal like Dewey.
It literally sounds like Cat Williams.
God.
It sounds like Cat Williams.
Yeah.
That's right, Huey, Louie, and Dewey, and DuckTales. Ooh, Disney sue me.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Drew's been taking rap improv classes, so it's really. I'm glad that they've been paying off. Here is the point in the story where we meet Sarah's favorite character, Sadie.
She was a scene stealer, I'll be honest with you. Like
And
every
that's why
time
she
she was
won.
every time she was there, I was like, I'm only paying attention to this
Her
girl.
fits were
Her
really
fit.
good.
I was going to talk about her clothes. Oh my god.
I was very surprised at
The pockets in the skirt. She had a skirt with pockets in it.
I would say similar. I was going to make a similar point where I was surprised at the masculinity by which they kind of gave her character at the time.
Yeah.
That was good.
It's kind of Katharine Hepburn-y in a way.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
Sadie, she's the one to really, say that Stark is a sap, he's an idiot, he's been made to run third party to split the vote, etc., etc. Jack, meanwhile, he's really trying to help Willie. He tells him to be himself, make him laugh, make him cry, make him mad, even mad at you, which I think is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're saying to these people, just make them feel something.
Get them engaged, get your name out there.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, right now he's being a gubernatorial wonk, where he's just saying, "I am going to implement an 8-point plan that's going to, do all of this."
Literally.
Whereas what he just needed to say was something much more, just connect to the people on a more emotional basis, which again is that a
Someone you could have a beer with,
Right, there's a lot of debate. Is that a good thing for a politician to do, or is it not? There's a lot to be said on that, for sure. Willie starts drinking a little bit, which is only relevant for maybe like 5 minutes of the movie. I thought there was going to be more on that.
Well, the actor was an alcoholic.
I did see that.
And Sadie was too, like a really bad alcoholic.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is that why they won?
Probably.
No. That's a bad message.
Yeah.
The real Huey Long too was also kind of notoriously very on and off with alcohol. Like it was very open. He'd be like off it, on it, off it, on it. Like
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was on the lean.
Off the lean? No, we don't get off the lean until Bridge on the River Kwai.
Right. You're right. But yes, at this point, this is where the turning point really happens. Jack takes him to a speech he needs to do at some level of county fair. And Willie, he takes a shot to... Well, he was like hungover from the night before. He gets a little hair of the dog. And that is what loosens him up.
Oh, wait. Okay, the screenplay was really well written. Like there was
something about the hair of the dog.
He goes, okay, so Jack goes, it was the hair of the dog that bit him. And then Sadie's like, hair of the dog? She was like, oh, he must have like swallowed the whole dog or something.
Yeah.
Or like he must have eaten the whole dog.
It was like just a hair.
Just
it
a
was
hair.
the whole dog.
Yeah. She was
No, that line
some
stuck
very
out
clever,
to me.
fun things.
I wish I wrote that down. That one did stick out.
I wrote it in my brain.
Yes. But after taking his little hair of the dog, or the whole dog, Willie he cooks. He's connecting with the people. He pulls open his speech he was going to give and tears it up in front of him.
Classic.
He's like, I was going to give this speech, but now I'm not. He tells a story about this is something... Funny enough, in the 2006 version, we get 5 different versions of the speech, and Sean Penn gives it for an aggregate time of about 30 minutes. It's so
Are you
important.
serious?
It's so bad.
Oh my God.
I loved the speech in this movie. I thought it was really good. I think it's clearly a very important part of, like, all the king's men. He tells a story about a hick, referring to himself, and uses it to say, the politicians fooled this poor hick. And they've been fooling you too, you bunch of hicks. He basically politically negs them.
Yep.
Which I think a thing that this movie is trying to say, a thing that history is potentially trying to say is, do people want an abusive relationship with their government?
Yeah, maybe.
I think the answer is
maybe.
I think the answer is yes. And I think this is something that really shows it. This is a politician who's going up and just straight up calling you names.
Well, you'll see what's kind of prescient about this is the actual archetype of Huey Long had, and they kind of use this in this speech. Had this line where he would say something like, "How many of y'all own a suit?" Basically, how many people here own a suit? How many of you own 100 suits? How many of you own 20 suits? How many own 5 suits? How many own 1 suit? And like the idea being that like if you owned a suit, you were like a proper part of society. Yeah. You were a citizen. You could get a job, etc. The irony being that Huey Long notoriously wore like crazy, flashy, like baby blue suits with like big flashy ties. Like he had so many
suits. In the book, in the very limited time that I've spent listening to the audiobook, they refer to him wearing a Palm Beach suit.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which again sets that, it's very evocative.
Ew.
But it brings up this very interesting thing where people, they see that, and even though this person has all of the trappings of the thing that he purports to be against, that you as like the audience, this voter, whatever, feels that you are against, because this guy is, quote, speaking your language.
Keep going,
Not
Adam.
saying it.
Come on, Adam. You tore the line.
We're Lord Voldemorting over here.
Yes,
so hard.
Actually.
It's a great. I like this speech. I think it's well written. It's full on hick populism.
Yeah.
Again, this is a major turning point in the story. In the movie, we see Willie Stark gaining a lot of popularity to the point where he becomes a polarizing figure. People are tearing his posters down. And then this again, like Burton, he gets into some sort of argument with like someone at the newspaper because they are invested in Stark failing. They are telling him you can't write stories about him. You have to write stories gassing up these other politicians that he's running against, because that's the party line, right? And so Burton's like, no, I quit. Stark still loses this gubernatorial race.
God, he's such a good word.
Though he is no longer a gubernatorial wonk.
Yeah.
He's a gubernatorial, I don't know what the opposite of a wonk is.
Yeah, man of the people.
Yeah, but there's not a fun word for that. But he loses a close race. Again, I'm going to keep bringing up the 2006 version, because in that one he just like wins immediately. And it's just so lazy.
Yeah. So real life Huey Long actually was not, there's no weird angle here where there's like being used as like a tool to none of that was true, but he does run once and loses. And loses. He runs in 24 and then I think runs again and then wins in 28.
We're coming up on 28.
Yeah. Oh, here, yeah.
God.
That is crazy.
That was sobering.
Yeah.
You just feel like the air in the room just go out a little bit.
LA Olympics, though.
But Stark loses. He had full rural support, but it was the votes of the city that kept the Republican vote of the city, I can only imagine. But again, like the Democrat-Republican thing is not the same. But Willie Stark, I assume, they say don't say political party, but based on, like, again, Huey Long was a Democrat. Willie Stark, I assume, would have been a Democrat. I mean, the whole thing is, like, National Socialism.
Yes, yeah.
Again, someone who's saying FDR isn't going far enough.
Yeah.
Jack, then, after this loss of the race, he drifts for 4 or so years, gets a little monologuing in. Willie Stark, he keeps growing his support. He has gotten a taste of winning, so he's fully gonna keep being a thorn in the side of the political machine. And he's learned a lot from losing. And he's learned that he doesn't want to lose again, so he starts taking a lot of money from unscrupulous sources such as oil companies, other big business. Again, ironically, what he is supposed to be against in his speech's general manner of being. You know, there's an inherent irony in that, but we see that in politics. That's politics, baby, right? He then is about to be like in another governor run. He hires Jack Burton again to be part of his campaign. Again, Jack was just kind of like walking for 4 years, doing odd jobs. He is also, Willie Stark has hired Sadie as his campaign manager, which is good because she, you know,
She knows what she's doing.
she knew what she was doing. That was the right move behind every powerful man.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Adam.
But yes, at this time, Jack, he brings Stark to Burden's Landing. Burden's family asks Stark if he's making deals with people, says he's against, he fesses up to it, and he says, quote, good comes out of bad because it can't come from anything else.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. It's a nuanced discussion. And again, it's very much the end justifies the means idea.
Very Machiavellian.
It's very... I think if you believe that, and that is the way that you shape the world, that is the way the world is going to be shaped. If everyone believes that, then it is true.
Okay, Adam.
Yeah. And the problem is, most people do believe that. So ultimately it ends up becoming true.
Yeah. Well, it's hard not to believe that way when that's all that you see. When that is the world that has been created.
I'm so high right now. I'm so high.
Philosophy. We got all the bases here. But Jack's family is sufficiently impressed with what Willie Stark says, so Jack kind of secures him fancy endorsements. It leads to Stark winning the governor race. He hosts a huge rally with tiki torches.
I know.
Shout out Charlottesville, where I live. Got a complicated relationship with tiki torches and political rallies. And by complicated, I mean really abhorrent. He promises a lot of democratic socialism, free hospital, more roads, infrastructure, all of that sort of thing. And we get a montage. A fun little montage. Start doing stuff. He's hobnobbing. He's building infrastructure. And LSU football.
It's true.
Drew, would you like a brief interlude here?
Brief little interlude, because this is part of the just wackadoo-ness of real life Huey Long. I think he contributed a bunch to LSU, which was a school he never went to, but he basically started investing a ton of money once he was governor into LSU. He actually went to Tulane for a year and then decided to just take the bar on his own. So he never went to LSU, but he insisted that because he was governor, LSU was, quote, his school. And so he basically...
I think there are a lot of governors who do feel that way. I think the current governor of Louisiana is like that.
Yeah, Florida does. That's the thing, is they are technically parts of the government. A lot of those state schools. But anyways, he was basically running it at the time. He ran the school. He was very invested in the minutia of the school and the buildings that were being built. And he would declare to students that protested against him or his methods, he would tell them you should drop out. He would basically say, don't come to my school if you're going to just talk smack about me. He also was deeply, deeply invested in the LSU football team. He contributed towards their new stadium. He would literally call plays. He was that invested.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It's just your drunk uncle, but
Yeah.
he's able to get enough power to be what if I could call plays at LSU?
And it's I guess you could. You do technically kind of run the school, and the team is run by the school.
He is the head of the public university.
Exactly. But yeah, that is actually ripped directly from the headlines. Is specific. Go Tigers, Go
Tigers. Do you think Joe Burrow's seen this movie?
Yeah. I think Joe Burrow's listening to the pod.
Yeah, shout out Joe. Sorry the Rams beat you in 2021. Maybe he'll go back 1 year. At this time, we come out of the montage. Stark at this time, he's gone full tyrant. Yeah. He's in his dictator era. Whomst among us, right? I'm in my dictator era of this pod sometimes.
Congratulations.
But Stark is about to be impeached because he protected someone corruptly. Someone did something bad. He was going to either commute their sentence or something. He was protecting them using government powers. This is so bad it makes the attorney general quit. The attorney general being actually the judge who is the family friend of Jack Burton. Because they brought in a lot of people sort of from this old guard regime in order, again, to legitimize the...
Yeah, not going to say anything.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything.
Not going to say anything. Yeah. Also...
Who should I make my attorney general? How about that guy we call the judge?
And the people are, well, that makes sense.
That's all
Follow the judge otherwise. But yeah, at this time, Stark is also trying to boink Jack's girl, Anne. And,
Which
I mean, I think he is in fact boinking Anne at this point.
no, they are boinking
because
for
she's
sure.
trying to get him to divorce his wife.
Yes.
And that whole messy thing.
That whole messy.
And she was not a cute homewrecker.
She was not, because Peggy was like outright saying it. She was like, "I'm going to do this," but like naively. But this Anne.
No, this was like the full on like. Well, he said he's going to.
Well, it was more like Ariana Grande, Ethan Slater. I'm an Ariana Grande fan. I can say it.
Yeah. But this guy who Stark is protecting, his name's Pillsbury. Shout out the doughboy. He becomes a big scandal.
I don't get what happened. What did he do wrong? What was that scandal? Did they ever say?
I forget what Pillsbury did. Probably just some like run of the mill corrupt thing.
They never mentioned
Very
it.
like, par for the course of this. I'm sure it's something to do with like taking money, like getting favorable contracts, etc. I feel like that stuff was happening.
Probably was just the fall guy for some.
Yeah, that's true.
Rot that was happening throughout the whole system.
Definitely. But the Judge Stanton, he's the one who is kind of the spearhead of the opposition against Willie Stark. He's the one really calling for his impeachment. So Stark uses Jack to try and get dirt on the Judge. Mm-hmm. So Jack goes home to do that. And then he meets his friend Adam. Shout out Adam, great name. Played by Mark Ruffalo in the 2006 version.
Oh my gosh, this cast gets weirder and weirder.
It's so strange. It's so weird. But his friend Adam, who is brothers with Anne, he has been offered the head of this new hospital. Again, more of a plot to both legitimize the administration, but also weaponize it against the Judge by saying, oh, like your family is involved with the administration, therefore, they are rebuking you. Again, it's all just like very political between these two dudes. Anne freaks out. A lot of melodramatic music going on here. And Jack finds the dirt on the Judge, but they withhold it from the audience. They're being very withholding.
They are.
Which is so funny because it's really not that
Yeah.
interesting. It ends up just not being. It's like he blackmailed someone, I guess, a long time ago. Maybe
Is that what it? I didn't even catch what
it
it was.
Yeah.
Like,
It's something honestly kind of frivolous,
yeah.
but
would probably weigh heavy on a man like the Judge.
Totally, 100%. We'll get into that. We bring back the character of the son, the very fictional character of the son. He refuses to play LSU football and then gets drunk and gets in a high-speed car chase.
Wait. Okay, because these football uniforms, I took a picture because it was making me laugh. The butt padding, it looks like they all just got BBL surgery in the Dominican Republic.
BBL Drizzy?
Look at him. I mean, great job. Like,
They went to Dr. Miami.
yes. The waist to hip ratio is making sense. But it was just like the way he was standing. It just looks like he pooped his pants.
Oh my God. That's just what you did. That's what you did in football in the 20s. You pooped your pants.
That's why they had so much padding. It was just like a bowl in there.
Oh no.
Come on.
No, come on. But no, the car crash happens. There's a girl that Tom, the son, is with in the car. She dies.
The Chappaquiddick thing.
She dies. The Kennedys.
Yeah.
The Southern Kennedys. Tom, he admits to
The
being...
current senator of Louisiana is John Kennedy.
He's not related to
He's
them,
not
right? Yeah, I didn't think so. Tom, again, Willie Stark's son, he actually admits to being drunk. He doesn't seem to respect his adoptive father.
Yeah.
He doesn't want his help. He doesn't want to be associated with this. He doesn't want to be absolved of what he did. He knows, like, he did wrong. Honestly, him doing it was probably a part of a rebellion. He, in a way, kind of invites the scandal, I would say. Or at least it's like, don't cover it up. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. But Stark doesn't.
He at least
Stark's
wants it
gonna
to
do
be
it
handled
anyway.
fairly and properly.
Yes.
No special favors.
Right. But Stark, he meets with the girl's dad. He is a trucker, and it's the, I mean, I'm not going to draw any major parallels to this, but it's someone who he was like, I believed in you, right? Until it affected me personally.
Right.
Now I no longer
Right.
believe in you because you have made my life worse, even though it was okay when you're doing all the things I liked, but now you did this thing that I don't like, which, I mean, granted, it is more about the veil being pulled off of his eyes rather than that, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have known. But maybe not. It sounds like, I'm curious to what point people back then especially were insulated from understanding a lot of those like actual things. Right now we are so inundated with it. Mm-hmm. We have like a full-on view into how people are talking, what they're doing, a lot of coverage. Don't know if it was exactly the same kind of thing. So.
Honestly, back then it was. I mean, obviously a different media ecosystem,
Totally.
but similar sort of rhetoric you would hear where it was very, you're either pro or you're anti. It was like there were pro longists and anti longists, and there was even a lot of talk back then of like people would openly talk about like someone ought to shoot that guy, like that our problems would go away if someone just shot him, I don't know if there was as much like buyer's remorse. I think a lot of people. I think the difference with Huey Long is he really delivered on his promises, and it was sort of like this is just the price we got to pay to like get these things to happen. They don't really lean into that as much with this movie, to be honest.
Yeah,
they're just like this guy's a sleazeball. That's really what they do.
Totally. Yeah, again, it's even worse in the 06 version. There's like zero nuance. I think at least this one has like he started from humble beginnings, and there's like a tiny bit of nuance there.
Yeah.
But it does. I would say the latter half of the movie is a little less interesting because it does lose a lot of that interesting nuance.
Yeah.
Because it's less interested in exploring that. There's so much to explore that's cool that they don't as much. It's ultimately a big problem here.
Exactly.
But the truck driver, the dad of this woman, he goes public with the fact he does not accept the bribe. He goes public with the fact that he was being bribed. Then he disappears. Which, just like emblematic of this whole dictatorial way of running things.
Yeah.
Willie then, he fights with his son for not playing football, so he forces him to play in the game. He goes into the game and collapses.
Oh,
yeah. Which then the son is taken to like, I don't know, did he have a heat stroke at some level of stroke? Whatever. It's the point of this scene.
He gets rocked. He like.
Oh, he got like bopped?
Yeah, he gets like rocked.
Okay.
Yeah, because he already had like a head injury or whatever from
Yeah,
the drunk.
exactly.
Oh, that makes so much more sense. Than
It's very,
I thought he just had heat stroke.
Put
That makes
booby
so
in.
much more
That's what
sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets rocked already with a concussion, which like causes some makes way more sense why it causes grievous spinal damage to the point that he's like paralyzed.
Yes.
You thought it was just heat stroke that did that?
I'm gonna keep that in. I'm gonna own this.
He was
No,
just
okay.
lightheaded.
No, it's nice to see someone else's brain working like that.
Yeah.
Other than mine.
You miss. It's so funny. Even I'm taking notes on all of this. Sometimes you just miss things.
You miss
like
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Totally.
But it's nice to talk through it because sometimes like, oh, like I interpret. Sometimes it's literally just I missed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he takes his son to the best hospital, the one that he built, obviously, which is headed by Dr. Adam Stanton. He tries to bribe him, and he's like, bro, you can't bribe God, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can't throw money. I like the scene the way that it kind of like presents this scenario that you cannot pay, you cannot bribe, you cannot charisma your way out of. Like, dude's spine is jacked. Like, you can't fix that. No amount of money is going to make it, especially in 1930 or wherever, whenever this was.
I don't even know what the medical procedure is then. They just stick a metal rod and like...
Who knows?
I could do it.
Who knows?
I can figure it out.
But yeah, Anne falls deeper and deeper into her psychosis.
Oh my God,
Willie
she's so
Stark.
crazy. She's so crazy, that girl.
We can't take her anywhere.
No.
She tries to get Jack to stay. I think Jack is a little disgusted at this point.
Yes, I mean, understand.
Yeah, I mean, like, fair, because he's kind of got a front row seat to all these things happening. So he's like, oh, this man was disappeared. And then, he's acting this way with my friend. Adam is Jack's best friend from childhood. But he does decide to stay working for him because he is addicted to that power. Which, again, that's why that character even exists, right? to be the one who says, wow, I put pen to paper and I wrote this article about Willie Stark, the honest man, and that has evolved into this, right?
I think he's also just scared too, because there's also the element they do.
Yeah, that's true. He did see him disappear someone.
Well, he also is the keeper of the little black book.
Yeah,
too.
He knows where the bodies are buried.
So it's like he's got the burn book, he's got the death note or whatever it is.
Yes, exactly.
He is if he goes, then he's got to go for good. Sort of thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's in too deep.
Right. Definitely.
'Cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to... You guys remember this?
Yes. Stark's power continues to grow. He goes re-election campaigning. He launches a campaign. He, gets even stronger. Whereas then the truck driver from the drunk driving scandal, he's found beaten to death. Womp womp. He was disappeared, but then they found him. And it's suspicious, to say the least. Stark is impeached again. I think he was probably just constantly being impeached. Was Huey Long also similarly being impeached?
They were constantly trying to impeach him. There was some very funny speech where he runs through all the times where he's like, they elected me as governor in 1938 or in 1928, and then in 1929 they impeached me, and then in 1932 I ran for senator, and they tried to impeach me again. It's like
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Exactly.
Not gonna do the voice.
Not gonna
do the voice. Stark is kind of at his limit at this point because he really wants to get elected. Was he running for governor again, or was he running for senator at this point? It's not that.
At this point, what in the movie?
In the movie.
In the movie, I don't think he's doing any.
He doesn't
of that.
do the senator
What happens
stuff.
in real life is Huey Long is basically termed out. He's only allowed to run for one term in Louisiana.
Gotcha.
So then he runs for senator, wins that, and goes to the Senate. But his buddy basically runs Louisiana while he's the senator, and he basically operates a deal where he's basically still able to be governor, even though he's the senator. While he's senator, he's basically cooking up his scheme to run for president in 30 seconds.
I really hope that's something that doesn't happen again. Stark is being impeached again. He asks Jack again for the dirt on the judge, and he does the whole, you sure you don't know anything? Are you sure there's nothing you forgot? Because he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And then they reveal, again, this super mid blackmail, whatever. It was that the judge, he maybe blackmailed someone to get his first job. Whatever. It's enough to both pressure him to call off his impeachment votes and get him to kill himself.
Yep. Why did he kill himself?
I don't think they were expecting that. But
yeah.
Okay,
it was
that
the weight of his shame.
Yeah.
Whatever, I guess. He didn't want to live under a world where Willie Stark was governor.
That whole thing was weird.
That was kind of weird.
Because
Bro's got Willie Stark derangement syndrome.
Oh man.
We inch closer.
we inch ever closer.
Well, it is revealed then that Anne is actually the one who gave the dirt to Stark.
She's such a bitch.
I know. It really do be your own people.
It's the ones closest to you
100%.
that are gonna
And then,
it's gonna stab you in the back.
Jack grabs her and shakes her. There's multiple scenes of women being shaken in this movie.
I have a question about that because every time Anne was sad, she would be she would turn
Sarah
away.
is flailing right now.
Yeah.
She
by the
would
way.
turn away, and I'm like, is that an acting fad from this time, or is that?
Totally.
I think it because
I hate that. I hate that.
Very honestly, it's a thing you don't see that much. But that thing where men grab women and they're just under the shoulder and shake them, and the women whip their head around. That's something I associate with the 50s. This
But I hate
era.
it. I hate
Oh,
it.
100%.
It's like they're little girls. She's just turning her head away, and he's like, Anne.
Exactly.
And she's like, I'm not. And it's just
Yeah.
what is this?
No, that's so real though. So real. Lots of women being shaken in that very specific style. Mm-hmm. So the judge has killed himself, which has opened up a whole nother can of worms for everything else. And there's speculation that Stark is going to seize control of the militia if he gets impeached, or if he doesn't get impeached, whatever. It's scaremongering on all sides with this. And then Adam, he finds out about Anne and Stark, Adam being Anne's brother. And then Stark, he really puts salt in the wound by breaking up with Anne, saying he's going to get back with his wife.
So this reminds me of The Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Okay, great. I've been waiting for this.
Okay, I have this written down just so I don't get it wrong. So that entire situation, it is really an early draft of Ron J, which is Real Housewives of New Jersey. So Adam finds out, like you just said, his sister Anne is sleeping with Willie. He takes it as a profound familial betrayal, confronts him, things turn violent. Teresa Giudice, her brother, Joe Gorga, calls his sister Teresa garbage. This is at the christening of Joe's son. Season 3 premiere. So then Teresa and her brother Joe, because Teresa's there. Okay, so there's 2 Joes. Teresa's husband Joe Giudice, and then Joe Gorga, her brother.
Okay.
And so like Teresa and her brother Joe Gorga have like all these years of resentment, like they do not like each other. And then all of a sudden, you know, there's the christening of Joe's son, and then he calls Teresa garbage, and then the other Joe Giudice, he freaks out and he gets physical with the other Joe. And basically, yeah, there's just like physical fighting at like this baptism, and yeah, just like other, you know, just family drama. And then Teresa later flips a table, and you know, it's not like exactly it, but it's like it just reminded me so much.
No one gets shot on the steps of the Baton Rouge courthouse. That's good.
That's funny.
You know, everyone always says that Ron J was the template.
It is.
The director of that episode he gave them all DVDs of all the King's Men to review before they shot it.
I believe it. Like Borders Landing, Durrett's Berkshire Houses from Ron Nee, Houses in New York. I haven't seen this stuff in so long. I used to watch it as a kid, but
that's funny. But yes, at this time, everything is sort of coming to a head where the impeachment trial is about to happen. A giant mob comes to defend Stark from impeachment. Yeah. And then there's I don't know who is the guy on the radio and the loudspeaker, but he's riling the crowd up. I'm like, someone take this mic away from this man. This is grossly irresponsible.
Yeah. Well, those loudspeaker truck things were like the very common campaign tool at the time. You'd just like drive them into town and like shout into them.
But yeah, he's like telling them to stay, like wait for the verdict. Yeah. And that, you know, right now everyone would just be in their house and there's like a TikToker.
Yeah. You know? A TikToker where?
Like a TikToker at the impeachment trial like
live streaming.
There would be a crowd.
Yeah. It actually this
there would be a specific crowd on a specific day.
Yeah.
Some would say that this impeachment scene happened at the very beginning of the year.
Yes.
So
we're talking about Zoran Mondani, right?
Jesus. God. Yes. Famous Democratic
populist, socialist.
Yeah. Running on a campaign of affordability. Yes.
But Stark does beat impeachment.
Yes.
And he then comes out. He beats the rap.
I beat the case like Huey.
He comes out and gives a speech to the crowd. And he's like, "You love what I do, right? Yeah. You love me."
No, I love when they scream, "We want Willie! We want Willie!" Yeah. I'm like, okay. Same girl. No.
He's like, "You love me.
You love me some Willie, huh?"
Yeah. And then it's a very, very quick. Adam comes back. Adam Stanton, he comes back. He shoots the shit out of Willie Stark and kills him. Yeah. And then is killed by a character we have not talked about, Sugar Boy.
Oh yeah, Sugar Boy's there the whole time.
Boy. We have not talked about Sugar Boy in the book. They describe him as being like a leprechaun. Yeah. They're like they're like, with the name Sugar Boy, you'd think he was black, but actually he's a 5'2" Irish boy.
Wow.
Which was like an out-of-pocket thing.
Imagine getting cast for that role. They're like, "Hey, we're looking for a leprechaun. Like, you're perfect."
Looking for like a short, whatever the opposite of a short king is. Like, we're looking for a goblin.
Yeah. A troll under the bridge.
But like, he was just like that archetypal Napoleon syndrome, but like not smart enough to actually have power. So you're just like a short thug.
He reminded me of Rumpelstiltskin.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Actually. It's very, I got you, boss. Like that.
No, 100%. 100%. But the thing is, Willie Stark didn't have a heavy. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You always need a heavy.
What's that? What's that?
Like a big henchman. You know, those like henchmen it's like you have the villain, and then they have like a short henchman, and then like a big dumb oaf henchman.
Yeah.
That's like an archetype.
Yeah.
He didn't have one. I guess Jack Burton was like maybe the proxy there.
No.
But anyway, he's shot. Drew, would you like to tell us about the actual assassination of Huey Long?
Yeah, it was actually very similar. This was when Huey Long was senator, but still kind of running the show.
Right.
He basically came down to Baton Rouge and was like trying to jam through a bunch of legislation, all that was going to just consolidate his power even more. One of those was specifically about redrawing the districts of one of his political rivals. And basically he came in, he intimidated the legislature there to basically jam through his agenda. Every single bill that he wanted passed. And as he's walking out of there, basically like mission accomplished, as he's walking out of there in the halls, the son of the political rival who he just redistricted out of his seat, the son of that man basically just comes up and literally, like in the movie does it pretty accurately, where he just basically pulls up, shoots him, goes bam bam, and then like open fire on the guy who shot him, on the assassin, and they just like they turn him to Swiss cheese. Like they never found out what his real motive was. I mean, his motive is kind of a little, you can assume.
One can assume.
But
again, they do the same thing in here where it is the son of his political rival, essentially. So
exactly.
There's like a very deep parallel with that specifically.
Yes.
The 2006 version, it's really bad because the blood goes over the seal of the state of Louisiana. It's like the whole movie is filled with this melodramatic music that like I actually liked in the 1949 version. It's all a little bit like understated, not overly flashy. This one was like like it was just the flowing strings the whole movie.
That was peak
awful.
Bush era though, and
totally.
they're like the system's broken.
It's like anti-sentimentalism.
Yeah.
But at the end of the movie, he gets shot. He gives a final line. He slumps, and then it's like the end.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
Yeah, they really just end it right there. They're like he's dead. No aftermath or anything.
There you go.
Yeah. He's dead.
He's dead. We'll afford the same thing, and we can jump right into the Oscars. Dang. This was a juiceless Oscar ceremony. There's nothing really that interesting. The only thing that I could find is that they moved the venue to the Pantages Theater.
Oh.
A place where I would see Hadestown 76 years later.
Did you see that this week?
No, that was last year.
Oh, okay.
I counted. Some other small tidbits. Fred Astaire got an honorary award. Ethel Waters became the second ever black Oscar nominee.
Oh.
Also in supporting actress. Edith Head, she got her first costume design Oscar win. This is a costume designer who has a legendary career that would lead to 7 wins on 35 nominations.
Wow.
But this is her first win.
Additionally,
for the cinephiles, this was the year the Italian film The Bicycle Thief won the special award for Best Foreign Film, in lieu of the official Oscar, which is coming soon. Best Foreign Film loading. They'll do that a few in the next ceremonies where it's like they have, this was the best foreign film. Here's a special honorary Oscar. You don't get a real one, but we're going to honor you.
Interesting.
So we'll cover a few of those.
Did you guys know they
ones.
make movies in other languages?
Yeah, exactly. But here, All the King's Men won only 3 Oscars. It was picture and 2 acting awards for Broderick Crawford and, as we said, Mercedes McCambridge. In the other big categories of director and screenplay, it lost to Joseph Mankiewicz's A Letter to 3 Wives. That, I will read the description. A letter is addressed to 3 wives from their best friend Addie Ross, announcing she is running away with one of their husbands, but she does not say which one. Sounds kind of fun.
Smash.
Little Ron action in here.
Ron?
Yeah.
Who's Ron?
Real Housewives.
Oh.
Real Housewives of, or
You just said...
I guess.
Okay. It's like Ron J.
Ron J, yeah.
Ronnie.
Ronnie. Yeah, the N isn't a given. You're right.
Yeah, that you're just saying Real Housewives of New.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not saying which new it is.
Yeah, Real Housewives of 1949.
Yeah.
Again, this is a movie that was also up for picture, but of course lost. But again, won director and screenplay, so a bit of a coup from all the Kingsmen. The other three nominees included 2 World War II movies about pilots. Curiously enough.
Give it a break.
I know. We got Battleground.
We got decades more of those coming.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Battleground was a movie from our boy. Let's not disrespect it too hard, because the movie from our boy, first ever brain rot Best Director winner, William Wellman. He takes to the skies again for a story about an American airborne company trapped by Germans in Belgium during the Battle of the Bulge.
Who did William Wellman? Who's that?
Wings.
Okay.
William Wellman did Wings.
One trick pony.
Yeah, he just loved.
Yeah, he's like a hack.
You guys remember when I did the thing with the planes?
He's
really liked it.
reheating his own nacho,
Yeah.
for sure. Next is 12 O'Clock High. This one starred our woke friend Gregory Peck. It's a tough...
Ooh.
Oh no, is this the sequel?
No, he was a tough general who has to take over a low morale
By
bomber
disguising
unit.
himself as a Puerto Rican man.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
He had to take over a bomber unit, another airborne unit, and whip them into shape. And it's a movie that actually used real-life war footage. Can you say Oscar bait? Lastly was another film from our good friend and new favorite of Sarah, William Wyler.
Yes! I love him.
This movie is The Heiress, which got Olivia de Havilland her second Best Actress Oscar. Joan Fontaine in shambles.
I'm smashing.
But yeah, this is a role where she played a naive woman who falls for a man that her father believes is only after one thing.
The coochie.
Her money.
Oh.
It's also a movie that, even before we started doing this, Alexis has said that it's one of her family's favorites.
Okay, I'm totally smashing
Something
this.
I want to watch.
Sounds so fun.
Like Olivia de Havilland winning an Oscar, William Wyler, now that we know what that means.
Yes.
But yeah, outside of that, there was like really nothing all that interesting in this Oscar ceremony. So, womp womp. I have not seen any of these movies, so it's hard to say for sure. Was this a deserved win? Would love to open that up for the group.
I don't know that William Wyler's in there. I'm like, I don't know, y'all.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of sounds like a weak year. I'm going to say, I will say, from what I understand about the history element of this is the sort of thing where it's like, everyone knows what the book is about. The book was a hit, and the book was about a very, lightning rod sort of political figure. I'm not shocked that this got the attention and the awards that it did. I mean, I'll save my opinions for later, but I'm not shocked that this was something that people were probably curious about, looking forward to. We're wondering, what is this portrayal?
And again, the whole movie is very much, I'm not going to say it's a tired idea, but it's something that's very much on Americans' minds. It's what if fascism came to America, because he runs this very, almost again, you said when we were talking about it's more Mussolini than Hitler at the time.
It's very much yes. Seriously, it's
But I mean, it is man of the people.
It's very much as long as the trains run on time, people will be happy, and that's what you make. You make a government is supposed to work, and the Huey Long approach is as long as it works for the people, that's all that matters. Whatever happens to get there, whatever I got to do to make that happen, it's better than doing nothing. Yeah. And yes, the Mussolini comparisons were made even back then. That was not
to Huey Long, I assume.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, there's a man who really could have been president. But I think that I agree with you. It makes sense. I've seen worse winners. We've seen worse winners.
Seen worse, but we've seen a lot better.
Yeah, I would agree. But does it deserve to live in the canon? Sure, I guess. Why not? There's nothing this year where I'm oh man, this blows all the Kingsmen out of the water.
I'm curious, do we get any other big, American political thriller sort of things like this? It seems okay, it's a genre that certainly should be represented, but I'm curious if there are any others that, off the top of my head, I can't think of any that...
really well, about, a singular American political figure?
Well, or even just tackling that idea. I'm just trying to think, because it's most of these things that are based on real events or real people end up being like war movies and stuff like that. But this one is very clearly just about the politics end of it. And
I will say you rarely get like evil biopic.
yeah.
I would say something that actually feels very similar in a way is something like There Will Be Blood.
Okay. Yeah.
Where you get this
Still haven't seen.
flawed... It's a very good movie. We'll definitely...
Is that I've abandoned my boy thing?
Abandon my boy!
Okay, yeah.
That is something we will get deep into in 2007 because that lost to No Country for Old Men. Widely seen as one of the best modern Oscar battles of history.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
one I can actually... One I know.
Yeah. That will be very fun. You know, when people will actually listen to this podcast. That I've talked to people and they're like, I'll listen when you talk about a movie I've heard of.
Okay.
To our 20 loyal fans who have been with us since the beginning, thank you.
I got my one buddy who I know listens to these.
Yeah.
He likes all the 40s movies, so
Nice,
he's been intently listening.
My brother doesn't listen. David Sachs. You're not going to hear this because guess what? You don't listen. You're a stinky poopy butthead, David Sachs. And you're not going to listen. You're not going to hear it.
So Sarah, would you say deserved?
I don't know. There's like a William Wyler movie in there which I would have to watch. I've loved all his movies so far. So
Yeah. Looking at my letterbox, the only other movies I've seen from 1949 are The Third Man. It's fine. People really like that movie. I thought it was all right. And Ichabod and Mr. Toad. The Disney movie that's like 3 stories. The one that has the Headless Horseman one in it, which is like low-key hype.
yeah. Okay.
But that should win best.
I guess yes, it makes sense that it won. It seems like something that would win.
Yeah, I've weirdly not seen pretty much any of these from this year.
Yeah, sure. we get a Met.
Yeah, I guess.
Whatever.
It is what it is.
Yes. For the brain rot. This one's a serious brain rot. It's not as serious, but Drew, what do you think a what do you think a Willie Stark presidency would have been like?
Willie Stark presidency?
Yeah. And Drew, what do you think a Huey Long presidency would have looked like? Think the trains would have run on time?
Well, Huey Long presidency would have been interesting because you're not yet.
It sounds like we were potentially close.
It would have been so he would have had to contest FDR.
Right.
And this was in the midst of the Great Depression.
After his first or
after his first term. This was FDR was going for a second term, and FDR honestly adopted a lot of things from Huey Long so that Huey Long didn't have those things to run on.
Oh.
Which is why it's like it is seen as a big reason for why the New Deal became so expansive. And Huey Long is really the proponent saying like this is not going far enough. You need to be even more involved. You need to do everything you can to redistribute the wealth. Like we should be taxing more of the wealthy.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're a bit of a Huey Long apologist, Drew.
I think yes. If you look into his actual platform and what he did, it's like
he was just corrupt. He wasn't racist.
Well, yeah, and he was talking the same sort of stuff where it's like there are speeches of him where he's literally doing the Bernie Sanders thing where he's like 85% of the wealth is shared by like 15% of the people and blah blah blah. Like he's talking all the same talking points that we still talk about today. And I mean, he wasn't also the first person to adopt that platform. Again, he's taking a lot of.
Would he have congratulated Mom Donnie on TikTok?
Totally.
Would Mom Donnie have him on his podcast?
Totally. I mean, the thing is, we don't need to imagine what a Huey Long presidency looks like, unfortunately.
Or a Willie Stark presidency.
The difference, though, is Huey Long was like a real politician who actually did.
Are we living in a Huey Long presidency or are we living in a Willie Stark presidency?
Yeah. We're living more than a Willie Stark presidency, where guy who was not supposed to win, like ran again later, and yeah. But that is one of the
guy abdicated his seat and came back in a different position but still retained power.
Yes, that is one of the big
not the case.
Historical what ifs though. Is what if Huey Long had actually, whether it was in 36 or later, had actually won the presidency? I mean, you think about World War II is right around the corner.
Yeah,
I think America would have gotten itself out of the Great Depression in a similar way. Like that again, he was very much on the angle of like doing everything we can to take people out of poverty.
Do you think he would have been more of an isolationist president?
Actually, I have no idea what his foreign policy was like, to be honest. But you can imagine a guy like that during wartime consolidating even more power doesn't necessarily end well. Even back then, there was like talk of like this could be America's first dictator. That was like even on people's lips back then.
Why aren't you asking me?
What do you think?
No, I don't have an answer. I'm just kidding.
What would you think about
I'm
Willie?
just throwing you under the bus.
I
I'm
was
just throwing
honestly
you-
going to say this is actually a very interesting conversation. I don't know if it's rotten enough for us.
It's that this is not a rotten
Do we have any good
conversation.
rot? Do you have any good
Rot for
Sarah?
the presidency?
No, with this.
What do you think about a Willie Stark presidency?
Well, I compared this movie to the Real Housewives franchise.
That's
already.
a good point. That's a good point. We've sprinkled the rot throughout. Okay, that's a good one. Which Ron or Roe?
Oh, great.
Sorry, I keep saying Ron. Which Roe, Real Housewives of, would all of these main characters fit the best in?
Adam, I've been waiting to be asked this question.
Look, more people can propose the rot.
Yeah. Okay, so Stark is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Rosslook?
Rosslook? Exactly. Because,
Please elaborate.
well, first of all, they're all Mormon, which doesn't have anything to do with the connection to him, but they're all like, they used to be Mormon, so they were once very like kind of closed off, and now they're all kind of like cuckoo crazy, and they're like always starting drama. They
started from the bottom, now we
hear. Exactly.
Would Willie Stark have used that song for him?
Yes. I was thinking that at the end.
He actually did have a campaign song, Huey Long. It was based off the campaign "Every Man a King, but no one wears a crown." He literally had a whole campaign. So it was like,
This is like a DJ Khaled album.
yeah, but it was like there was video of him like literally there singing it along with people.
That's
He
great.
even had a woman version where it was "Every Woman a Queen."
Oh! Not racist, not sexist.
Yeah. Except for the philandering element.
Just for the little bit of philandering, sure, whatever.
Yeah, but he would totally be
Rosslook.
Who else? Oh my gosh. Sadie would be Real Housewives of New York. She's classy.
Roni.
She's cunty. Yes, Roni. She's just that girl.
She's just that.
She's just that. And she'd be like Real Housewives of like fucking Potomac or something.
It was like Connecticut.
Yeah, like no one gives a crap about that one.
Oh, do you think she's friends with the from Gentleman's Agreement?
Yes, she reminded me of Kathy.
I thought it was the same actress almost. Yeah.
She would be best friends with Kathy.
Besties. Who else is in this?
What about, would Jack be in it? Our bland,
The
bland
husband.
protagonist.
I can
Jack.
think about like which husband of the housewives he would be. He would be a real husband.
Whereas Willie Stark, he's a housewife.
Willie Stark is a housewife. That's what I'm saying. He is the real housewife of Salt Lake City, Utah. Jack would be a real husband of, I would say, Beverly Hills. They don't start too much drama with one another. It's a lot of like rich celebrity, like they have reputations that they need to like, you know, it's not as messy as like Real House of Salt Lake City. Like it's very well, you know, what is it? Like they have all media training and stuff. So yeah, I would say he's like a real husband. You know,
Rob C. I didn't think that Real Housewives was going to come up today, but that was awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. No, Willie Stark is a Real Housewife of Salt Lake City, and
I see
Jack
that.
is a real husband of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
So, final rate.
I'm gonna give it a 3. It was I honestly mostly for the acting, like Sadie. I feel like there's always when I watch these movies, I feel like I watch one actor that I'm really drawn to, and that like brings the rating up for me. Honestly, there was some weird just like pacing stuff. Like I feel like there was like the weird cuts, and there was a lot of
super weird.
There was a lot of holes where I had to like go back and be like, what just happened? Why did that happen? And I hate doing that.
Yeah. Again, sounds like a lot was left on the cutting room floor for whatever reason.
Yeah,
But it made it
fact
a little
about the editing
confusing.
is very interesting.
Totally.
I was very confused, and it wasn't even that long of a movie, and I was like, okay, I'm like actually ready for it to be over.
Yeah.
But it was like a good watch. Like I like the idea. Yeah, that's it. 3 stars.
Yeah, I found similar to you. I'm like 3.5. I think there's a lot of potential in there.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be better than it was. I was a little hyped for this one. It's not like terrible. I've definitely seen worse movies, but it does feel like there's a sort of wasted potential here, and that's why I started listening to the audiobook. So I was like, the story is cool. I think there's universality to this idea. I love the like philosophical thing of this character kind of creating the monster, which is obviously well tread storylines, but I think there is something cool about the way that they could handle this here. So I'm excited to hear a little bit more from this Pulitzer-winning novel. But the movie seemed a little less interested in exploring a bit more of that nuance than I would have liked and expected from it. So
Yeah.
The acting was still really good. I thought that Broderick Crawford was pretty magnetic in general. Like, the character of Jack kind of did nothing for me. I think, again, an interesting idea for a character. Don't know if the execution was great, but it's like a light 3.5. I can respect certain things, but it didn't, come together into something that was great. It'll fall very much in the middle of the pack, I'm guessing. It's like, you keep it out of the basement, but it's guarding the door to the basement.
It was a movie that I watched.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Totally.
Similarly, I am a 3 on this one. Yeah, just I think it's one of those things where I'm really glad I know the fact about the editing, because that explains a lot. Because this really just felt like they were speed running the story that people kind of already know. I also think this is too, maybe this is an unfair way to judge it, because again, this is a book based off of a real life person, or this is based off of a book which is based off of a real life person, but still, it's when you're watching this, you can't not ignore that. But it's this is a case where the truth is so much stranger than fiction. And they put it through all those cuts, and they try to just strip all the details out, it becomes a much less interesting story. There were also just weird things that just devalue, I think, what is already a very interesting character. Mm-hmm. And I think also even watching Broderick What's-His-Face, his performance is good, but it's it is nothing compared to the real life person. And for that reason, it's okay, I get it, you're telling the fable here, but it's I would have much preferred this be the 4-hour epic that it originally probably was. I'd rather a 3-hour, 4-hour great American rise and fall of the American Caesar sort of epic. That would have been so much more interesting than this SparkNotes version, basically.
Makes sense. Do not watch the 2006 version, because it's even more stripped down and not interested in themes. I gave that one a 1.5.
Yeah.
It was not very good. Honestly, watching it made me like the 1949 version a lot more.
There you go.
Yeah,
honestly, I think that kind of gave me that half-star bump.
Well, I was gonna say
it was so bad.
I think it could have been a really cool another Gone with the Wind moment, you know?
Yeah.
They could have made it
epic.
Epic.
Yeah. Honestly, I would have, and there have been attempts at this. There's apparently a 1995 John Goodman attempt at a Huey Long miniseries biopic. I would have much rather just a straight biopic about the real person.
Oh, gotcha.
Because it's already it's so palpable. It's we already know who this is about.
Yeah,
and you'll already
He's
get all
dead.
the same themes.
We can make a movie about him now.
Yeah, and honestly, if I were you, I would rather read the book as you're doing, or I would watch the Ken Burns documentary about Huey Long, or read Huey Long's Wikipedia page. Honestly, it's much more interesting than you're gonna get all the same beats of this story, but you're gonna get all the much more interesting and bizarre details to go with it.
Okay, great discussion, everyone. Join us next week as we see a really odd Oscars milestone with the only back-to-back movies that share the same first word. That isn't the word "the."
Oh, yeah.
Because that's cheating. All the King's Men turns into All About Eve. Oh. A movie about a young actress who worms her way into the inner circle of an aging Broadway star.
No!
Possibly with sinister intentions.
Sounds bad.
I don't know.
I've heard good things.
Sorry.
It's supposed to be very good.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just got triggered by Broadway and I never know what the movie's